Bonjour, people. Hello, welcome. Some more racing for you tonight from Fuji.
Invincible.
Let's get into it. So we stay in Japan then. This is following on from the Tokyo race last week. We are now at Fuji, so I'm just going to do a quick volume check, so I'm just going to mute you for 1 second. It sounds okay to me. If it's all messed up, hi Dave, how you doing, mate? Good luck tonight. Good luck tonight. Yeah, so if the audio goes a little bit cockeyed, do let me know. Mr. Lewis, good luck to you, my friend. Let's get myself set up. Got my cup of tea. Got everything going. So, back in the Group 4s, are we tonight, boys? I haven't even looked yet. Yeah, I've just seen a Group 4 Chevy go by, so... yeah, Fuji. So let's have a quick look at where we are in terms of points. Let's get that playing. Tommy Concrete then. Becoming somewhat of a hard man to beat. Note the concrete pun there, please don't shoot me. Pulling out a bit of a lead now against Hero Cram. He's on 162 points to Hero Cram's 151. Trailing behind them at the moment is Fubuki. But that battle for third could hot up if Toby starts pulling some results out and Richie turns the pace up. Dark Clark's back tonight as well. He can pull a result out of the bag. And we'll look to see him getting into that mix. At the moment, him and Bobby having a little bit of a tussle for that P6 spot. Bobby, it's his birthday today, so he will be getting some birthday bumps off the boys, no doubt about it. Hi Toby, how you doing? In terms of manufacturers then, because this is the manufacturers series of course, with just 3 rounds remaining, it is Citroen romping away with it on 238 points, closely followed by Lexus on 225. And then Chevrolet currently holding that P3 spot, but do have quite a bit of a gap over McLaren. So all to play for in the manufacturer's title just yet. Hirocram does need a good result out of this one. So let's get over to track because we're about to start the sprint race. And let's go and have a look at what the guys are doing. Yeah, I know. When it lets me spectate. There we go. We're in. So the sprint race coming up to you then. This is 15 minutes. So the drivers shouldn't need to worry about fuel or tyres during this one. Right, flat out slog to the finish line. Bit of a long delay. The drivers have been kept waiting for quite a while. The lights are going now. Lights out, away they go. Everyone a little bit slow to react tonight. The Subaru gets away well, the Citroens get away well as well. That already looks like Richie then up the inside trying to get a move made on Infinite Graphics and Fat Pickles Bro, who's just having to be hung around the outside in the Mercedes there. Bobby, the birthday boy, already up then into P3. One of the Vipers there getting a little bit pushed out. That looked like it might be Total Rose, but we'll see. It is still Infinite Graphics leading us through turn 2. Technically turn 3 as Richie gets hung around the outside. Bobby's just trying to keep in pace with these guys. Fat Pickles Bow back up to 4th. LFC Fan, the 2 McLarens then. Those cars should do quite well around here. They're quite well suited to Fuji. LFC Fan and Toby battling to bring McLaren back into the fray a little bit. Hirocram, who's chasing down a result here. P7 for him. Where's Tommy Concrete? He should be near the back there. He is. In fact, he's dead, stone dead last. I can almost guarantee you this guy won't be there at the end. He is impossibly quick. In fact, he gives his teammate a good old shove there for good practice. Richie is leading the way now. Infinite Graphics has had to succeed that spot. Then it's Bobby. Who else have we got kicking about? Fat Pickles, but still hanging on that. I'll be honest, Pickles might be listening to this. That Mercedes is an absolute boat. He will do well to keep anything behind him through the corners. It just doesn't turn really. Not so bad in the sprint race, but it might well start to struggle in the feature because it is terrible. is an abhorrent car. Hurricane then, let's jump on board with Hurricane. Does he try and get a move made? Looks like Bobby further ahead is getting... Yeah, Bobby's going for a move there. So that's Bobby ahead past Infinity Graphics, and it's Huracan's going to be trying to get his way past Fat Pickles, bro. I do love these nighttime shots, the brakes. Although we've got a car off in somewhat spectacular fashion in the background. I don't even clock who that was. Someone a little bit further back. Who was it? So there's the battle we were watching. Someone a little bit further back. Who was it? That was Fubuki and P1 Don. You had that coming together. So let's have a look. Oh, they just caught each other out. They really did, and unfortunately they're teammates, aren't they? They're both Chevrolets out. Not out, but yeah, unfortunately for those boys, it's pretty much going to put them right at the back of the pack. Someone who's not at the back of the pack, though, is Richie. 1.6 seconds is the gap now. That Subaru works well in Sector 2 here. Bobby in the Lexus now with LFC fan right up his chuff. Good news for Bobby, he's got a Huracan company. Huracan can start putting some pressure on the McLaren, potentially down into turn 1. We'll keep an eye on that. Then we've got Infinity Graphics P5 holding on nicely in the Porsche with Toby in 6th, Fat Pickles in 7th, Vicho in 8th. Got over his mysterious injury now. James Harbour 9th, Mental Nev in 10th, Tommy Concrete up to 11th already, Dark Clark 12th, Toto Rose 13th, and then the two Chevrolets down near the back of the pack. Is Huracan going to be looking at a move here then on LFC Fan? Just poke out the slipstream. LFC Fan's going to be nice and light on the brakes, and indeed that McLaren just gets it tidied up in time for turn 1. Does run a little bit wide on the exit there, and he's held it. But he's gonna lose out there to Huracan. Unfortunately, he just tried to push the loud pedal down probably a little bit too early on the exit of turn 1 there, and it pushed him just a little bit wide. Meanwhile, GTP Toby's got himself past Infinity Graphics. Didn't see that move happen, but Infinity Graphics is right up his chuff and can potentially go for a move back on him. The McLaren spitting flames here in the dusk night at Fuji. Graphics does have Vicho to worry about. Vicho has been out of action for a couple of weeks. We'll be eager to make up lost points then, as he's currently knocking out in P7. The two Citroens having a bit more of a difficult time of it than in past races. They've only really made up a couple of places this time because both Chevrolets have ended themselves. They're still currently in P11 and P12. There is a good old slipstream train going on at the moment though, so it is understandable why they'll probably still be stuck there. As we've got Bobby then with a little bit of a penalty. Huracan's giving him a bit of a flash there. I know it's your birthday, my friend, but get out of my way. And I think Bobby is indeed, as we've got someone going backwards in the background. I might just go back and have a look at that. Bobby is just going to let Huracan go here. Looking back a little bit further, got some good battling going on then between Infinity Graphics, Fat Pickles, James Harmon. So it's Mercedes v Porsche then. It's the battle of the Germans. Which one will succeed? So far it's Mercedes that is in front, but the Porsches, they are fast, yeah. Mental Nev though, always having his own battles here with Tommy Concrete. And then Tommy Concrete made his way through then. Mental Nev will obviously try and fight him back. He's got his teammate a couple of cars ahead of him as Mental Nev, so not much Fat Pickles can do at this moment in time to help him, but he has got him there, so if any assistance is needed, I'm sure Dave can call on him. The two Porsches then, James and Infinity Graphics, just trying to defend away from Tommy Concrete, who's now starting to make lunges forward then. P8 already for the Citroen driver. Tucked up behind the Porsche then. Infinity Graphics. A little bit of a nudge there on the back of Infinity Graphics car, I think. I don't know if that was intentional or accidental, I'm not too sure, but Tommy Concrete then probably have to line Infinity Graphics up for a move down into turn 1. And it has been followed through by Dark Clark as well, as yeah, Tommy Concrete just gets a really good exit then, and he's going to manage to get himself alongside the Porsche, who will try and slipstream him back down to turn 1. We'll keep an eye and see how that's going on. Richie's got a 2.8 second lead then over Hurricane. We'll see if he can maintain that. Hurricane keeping Bobby in the fight. Toby still ahead of V-Show. Let's have a look. Tommy Concrete then still ahead of Infinity Graphics. Dark Clark's going to try and have a go at Infinity Graphics as well. James Harbin and LFC fan having a good little ding-dong here for P10. James are now being chased down by P1 Don in the Chevrolet, who was involved in an early incident. Got Mental Nev here as well. What's happened to Nev? He was battling away near the front not so long ago. He was here with Tommy Concrete and everyone. So I'm not too sure what's happened to Nev. I apologise. I do not know. I cannot tell you. But I can tell you he's got a little bit of a penalty. Things now at the front just starting to calm a little bit more. We've got the V-Show and Toby battle still raging on. Looks like Dark Clark has managed to get his way past the Porsche then of Infinity Graphics. A little bit of a flash of lights then from Infinity Graphics. Obviously not happy with something. There was some contact. Yeah, there was some contact there, but I mean there was a gap, so I don't know. Obviously I don't know how that one would have been seen, but was indeed a gap for him to fit into. Where's Toby these days? What's happening with Toby? He's P5 at the moment, still chasing down V-Show. LFC fans still fighting away with these Porsches. This battle's been going on for a lap or so now. Let's jump over to Dave Cam. Not much doing with these two. And Dave's giving his teammate the slip. That's how you do it. That's how you teamwork, boys. That's how you teamwork. That's a lovely shot, that. The brakes on that Porsche glowing red hot. Infinity Graphics does cook it a little bit too deep, but he does give his teammate a good run out the corner. Unfortunately for him, it also gave LFC fan a decent run out the corner as well. So he's leapfrogged this lot into P9. James Harbin 10th, Infinity Graphics is 11th, but he has now lost a place to Fubuki as well. Don't forget Fubuki was involved in that sort of lap 2 incident with his teammate. So they're just out of position cars at the moment. The two Porsches probably spent the most time out of everyone fighting away this time. What's going on? V-Show then has lost a position to Toby. We didn't see the overtake happen. Let me see if the replay can record it. It didn't. I apologise, but I'm sure it was a good move. The battle at the front, just to check back in on that. Hurricane isn't catching Richie. Is the short story there, ladies and gents. It is not a novel. It is a short story. In the past sort of 2 laps since we last checked in on this, the gap has shrunk 0. A tenth here or there. It's not really anything. So I'm not really managing to pull anything in on the Subaru. The race is too short to really worry about him burning his tyres away too much. We've only got another couple of minutes left, so we'll see what happens with that. But unless any mistakes are made, you'd say your podium's mostly decided. Then Birthday Boy at the moment running P3. Toby P4 could still come under pressure from V-Show. We'll see how effective the Subarus are tonight. They're picking up good points from tonight as well. Tommy Concrete, an eternal threat, does not have the fastest lap at the moment though, which currently belongs to the champion P5 V-Show. Not sure what else we've got going on. We have got the James Harbin yet again fighting with cars. He's involved in all sorts tonight. He's James and is currently fighting away a Chevy and a Mercedes. P1 Don will be enjoying this very much though, as he does manage just to get up the inside of the Porsche as it drifts wide. James, got a good view of James and Mental Nev here going side by side, and Mental Nev just about able to hang it round the outside. and that's put James down, unfortunately, down to P13 with Infinity Graphics P14. Good starting position for those from the starting grid, isn't it? The exact results of this one. So Richie will have pole position, etc. I think that's how it. I think that's how it works. Not, you won't be fighting so hard for a reverse grid spot, would you? You just sit at the back. So V-Show back ahead of Toby. Didn't see that one coming. Don't know where exactly it happened either, but the Subaru now back ahead, although you'd imagine the McLaren will be going for a move down into turn one. It's a problem with Fuji. You really struggle to get out of the other car's slipstream that you're fighting. You do need a genuine pace advantage here for that to happen. It's not simple. Tommy Concrete closing in on those guys, running out of laps in which to do anything. And then you do have Dark Clark, who's just put his fastest lap of the race on the board at 44.6. Right, so very close to the fastest lap of the race, but of course these boys, the tyres are wearing away now. They do have lighter fuel, but that's offset by the amount of wear the tyres are really going through, so it's not really much of an advantage being lighter at this stage of the race. Don't really see much else going on at the moment. Hibberman must have heard me saying that he wasn't catching Richie, and he's took a second out of him in the past couple of laps. That, I'll be honest though, that is Richie losing pace. So tyres must be starting to go on that Subaru. Bobby, what have you done, you donut? Didn't catch it, but Bobby's at a severe risk then. I mean, he's lost his podium position at the moment. He's picked up a little bit of a penalty as well, but he's got V-Show all over him now. He's already down to P4. Mr. Bristow will be trying to pick up the slipstream then from that McLaren. Pokes his nose out. V-Show in a good position here because the Subaru's not the best car in a straight line, I'll be brutally honest with you. Imagine he'll get a nice tow here, and Tommy Concrete ready to pick up scraps of any of these battles that are going off ahead. We're on to the last lap then, ladies and gents. What can Bobby do about this? Can he defend his position? He's trying to hang it around the inside, does get a little bit of a tap from V-Show, that taps him into Toby. That one's not Bobby's fault. Toby, it was nudged out there, but not for the fault of Bobby. It's rare I defend Bobby, but I will defend him on that one. Tommy Concrete then up to P5, so good race for the Citroen so far. Could potentially pick up another couple of positions as well. All it takes is one driver to make a mistake, and that's V-Show up the inside then at Bobby. But caught Bobby napping on that one, and can Tommy Concrete slam one up the inside as well? He's going to pick a side, left or right. What way is going to be the best for the Citroen driver then? And V-Show's going to have to decide basically which one of these drivers is going to overtake him, because you can pretty much guarantee one of them is. None of them are. Is V-Show able to defend to the inside? As we flick to the left again, V-Show manages to pull away. The Subaru's got that good initial grip, and Bobby down to P5 then after Tommy Concrete got his way through. No change at the top, by the way, so we can just keep an eye on this battle for the time being. I'll wait for them to go into the straight. They're not close enough. That looks like a lunge then from Dark Clark, and Bobby got tagged a little bit. Meanwhile, let's go back to Richie, who wins the race by 1.6 seconds. Hibberman finishes P2. V-Show is going to get third, with Tommy Concrete then in fourth. Toby in fourth. Bobby in sixth. Dark Clark seventh. Pickles is going to get eighth. Fabuki ninth. LFC fan in. Oh, he's picked up a penalty, so there. We'll go through the order in a moment, but anyway, I would have liked to have gone back and seen that last lap, that last corner. Unfortunately, once the race is finished, you don't get the replay anymore. Would be interesting to see what happened with that. But well done to Richie. Got a great start and kept it the entire way. Gapped the field. sure we'll have a little bit of a break then before race 2, which will get underway, and that'll be a 40-minute race. Same track, probably a little bit of a different time. So Dark Clark's apologising to Bob there, so I guess he does feel he was at fault. It did look, I'll be honest, it did look like a lunge. But I know that last corner at Fuji, you can take all sorts of weird and wonderful lines through it, so it could really have been anything. So that's us changed to the main track then. Yeah, the Chevrolets have been messed up. Let's have a look. So, grid based on previous race results. So this, ladies and gents, is your grid for the feature race. We've got Richie on pole. We're going to have Hirocron P2. The Subaru should get a good enough start, but watch out for Tommy Concrete off the start, starting P4 in the Citroen. He is directly against Hirocron, and they'll be directly behind Hirocron, and that car starts better than the Lexus as well. So Hirocron's going to be a very nervous chap off the line.
Looking for royalty-free music? Discover Epidemic Sound.
Yeah, birds.
Get
So I don't even want to put... There, we'll do that, so it'll be fun. What else have we got? We've got the other Citroen starting P7, so he'll be directly fighting Toby and Bobby, you'd imagine, off the start. And then Fubuki all the way down in 9th. Another contender. You would think to be near the podium by the end of the race. In terms of race 2, a little bit more to this one. It's not going to be as straightforward as just drive to the lines. There's a little bit more strategy involved in this one. The cars will have two components side they have to run. They have to run the soft and the medium. I think they can run the hard if they want, but only psychopaths do that. So fully expect them to just see the medium through most of them will start on that medium compounder tyre and then cycle to the soft. It's just then a case of where they do it. The undercut here at Fuji, because of the slipstream, is really powerful. So if you're in a train of cars and you think you can pit early and get out of that train, you will gain the time on your outlap just because you're not then being slowed down by other cars. So it can be quite powerful if executed correctly. It can backfire massively as well, of course, but it can pay off basically if you're stuck in a train of cars like we saw some cars in the sprint race do. Then just imagine what that's like with fuel saving and stuff in the feature. So keep an eye out for the strategy. In terms of fuel, obviously the fuel burning's on, so they'll probably have to refuel at the pit stops, I'd imagine. I don't think a full tank will get you 15 minutes. Not quite anyway. And the drivers basically will just know how far they can take a set of softs before they really become unusable, and that will usually dictate when they stop. Some of them may make a brave strategy call, some of them may choose to do more than one pit stop. Although with a race duration only 40 minutes, I would find that probably unlikely. But we've seen it happen before. We saw it at, was it Interlagos? We saw that happen. Can't remember the season now. I'm sure it was Interlagos, and the group falls the Citroens pitted early just to get out of the traffic, and it worked out quite well for them. So yeah, we should be starting away with race 2. Of minutes time. Chaps usually just get a little bit of a break for going on. Yeah, they usually just get a little bit of a break. Someone have a wee and all that sort of stuff. I'm getting sick of these adverts on this channel. I appreciate they've got to make money, but you know. anything happening in chat since I've not been really looking at it? No, no one's chatting tonight. Going on. Goes like that sometimes, you know. Sometimes you get quite a few people in, sometimes you get nobody. It's a bit of a lottery. New post on the page, yeah. No likes on it, though. That's not really a telltale sign. Faster being glide. It's 2 minutes away from the start. We'll have 40 minutes of Fuji fun for you. 3 predictions in the chat if you're watching. Let us know who you think is going to finish where and what you think may happen during this one. Hopefully whatever happens we get a good clean fight, as they would say on Celebrity Deathmatch. Right then, here we go. Race número 2. Let's fade this music away. Don't know what's happening with these two. Never mind. Hopefully whatever's happening, they leave it there. I think it is friendly banter, or whatever the kids call it these days. So race 2 then. Fuji. 40 minutes on the Group 4 cars. We had the grid decided by the finishing position from the last race. Just watch for the starts. Unfortunately we don't get a great angle of the start here. But the lights are much quicker coming on this time. So yeah, everyone gets away cleanly by the looks of it. I'm immediately watching for Tommy Concrete versus Heracram, and Tommy Concrete's already got that boxed off. That Citroen starts that well. He's already ahead of the Lexus Championship contender then. Ricciardo and V-Show, both in the Subarus, get a better start than everybody else. And they are away cleanly. Then it's Heracram P4 tucked up behind Tommy Concrete, but Dark Clark is there and willing and ready to pounce. GTP Toby's the odd one out here though. He's the lone McLaren up here in P6 ahead of Bobby. Now Bobby will want to get in there and start helping his teammate out. I've seen a little bit of lobby like. I don't know what driver that is specifically. It looks to be Bobby on my screen, but it could be anyone. These drivers will have come into this race with game plans and what sort of lap they want to pit and etc, etc. That was an opportunistic move there by Bobby, as Toby went very deep in on the brakes. We've got that one replay clipped. We might actually go back and have a quick look at that one, because it did look like I'm just going to take this from you quickly. Yeah, Toby and Dark Clark had very slight contact, and that's what basically created the opportunity for Bobby there. So Bobby then passed Toby and up to P6, and he's now got Dark Clark to chase down. Heracram though losing a little bit of time to Tommy Concrete. And the important thing here is Tommy's not in the slipstream of the two Subarus. There's 1.1 seconds between him and and the next Subaru, which is V-Show. So Hirokram is getting the tow here. The car ahead won't be getting the tow at all, so he's not going to be close enough for a move this time. Is anyone going to be looking for a move down into T1? The two Mercedes probably won't battle too hard. The two Porsches still pretty close together on track. Total Rose, P14, and then LFC fan who's had a shot on the first lap. P15 and last at the moment for that McLaren, so not having a fantastic race so far. They were looking really absolutely secure, that P3 in the championship, but at the moment Subaru are making a very good, very good case for bringing that to them. Those two separated by about 11 points in the championship currently. It's early days. We've got 37 minutes yet, but so far so good for Subaru. The two of them are streaking away into the distance. Richie and Visho are very, very consistent drivers as well. They will just pump in the laps. Tommy Concrete is the odd one out here. He arguably one of the quickest chaps I've ever seen on Gran Turismo Sport. He will reel them in at some point. I'm saying that Visho's just pulling away. They might have to do this one on strategy. We will see. Nothing else really happening further down. We've got Fubuki is catching Fat Pickles, bro. So the two Chevrolets arguably out of position from where they would have been expected to have started. That being said, that car I would also expect it to struggle around this circuit. So who knows? Who knows? Hirokram v Tommy Concrete yet again. Hirokram not able to execute on that time, but was close enough. Then Dark Clark, Bobby and Toby having a little bit of a battle. I'm still seeing a little bit of that lag kicking off here. I don't know what exactly happened. Coming down into T1 there was a little bit of a tap from Bobby, but I think that again it looks to me that Bobby's car's just got a little bit of lag kicking it. Seen it when I ride on board with him. It's very slight, but it's enough. Well, hopefully it clears up. These things do sometimes just happen for like 5 minutes, then they go away. So it's definitely worthwhile keeping an eye on him. Just seeing if Bobby. We were on with Hirokram, then we were on with the wrong bloody Lexus. So let's just ride on board with Bobby then as he battles away with Dark Clark. He's got to defend to Toby at the same time. Yeah, just getting that lag's there, but hopefully it goes away. What tyres is everybody on? So right, this is why Visho and Richie are tearing away. They're on the soft. Tommy Concrete and Hirokram both on the medium tyre, so these boys have yet to take the fastest compound tyre. Visho and Richie have got to take the slowest one next. So their strategy obviously is to get out of that tow early and just try and break away a little bit. Every other driver, I think, everyone else is on mediums. Yeah, it's only the two at the front that are the odd ones out here. Visho and Richie. Visho now leading the race, but no doubt these boys are just slipstream swapping around. So back to Tommy Concrete then. He's got Hirokram trying to make a move down the inside. A nice clean battle between those two. Hirokram up to third, but Tommy Concrete won't let that one live for much longer. Dark Clark P5, so yeah, where's Bobby? Bobby's still P6, so that fight's still going on between these boys. We've got Mental Nev joining the party now as well. Fubuki ahead of Fat Pickles, bro. We were talking about those a lap or so ago. P1 Don 11th ahead of James Arbin in 12th. LFC Fan 13th was at the back of the grid near the start of the race, so it's good to see him making that time back up. Total Rose 14th and Infinity Graphics in 15th place at the moment. So the Porsche's not having a great weekend of it. The two Subarus then managing to keep the gap to Hirokram and Concrete. It is ebbing and flowing, but Richie and Visho do have to take the slowest tyre yet. So probably in about 10 minutes time that soft will start to degrade a little bit. It should still be faster than the medium. But usually 20 minutes or so is a good window for a soft tyre. They will know that. They will have been tested. They will know what their ideal window is then. Does Tommy Concrete fancy his chances in a straight line against a Lexus? It's just, well, he's gaining. He's gaining. So whether he's going to gain enough by the end of the straight, he's 2 tenths back. He's not close enough at this level. He can probably poke his nose out, but I can imagine he also won't. As we've got Toby and Bobby fighting away. Bobby does look to let that one happen, and then immediately lags back into the frame again. So Bobby back to P7, with Mental Nev now closing in for company in P8 in the Mercedes. Bit of a gap back then to Fabuki. Still has Fat Pickles blowing his tail. Then it's LFC Fan 11 to 2 Porsches. P1 Don in 14th. What's happened to him? And Total Rose down in 15th place and quite a way back from everybody else at the moment. Total Rose not enjoying Fuji. 2 Subarus continuing to pull that gap. How early do the medium ones pit? Now is too early, I would say. We've only done 8 minutes. Do get your tyre wear quite heavy at Fuji. There's quite a lot of loaded corners. So this section here in particular, you're doing 60-70 mile an hour through these corners, loading up on that front left, then immediately on the front right again, continually as you go around this corner. Then you speed up yet again and you're braking into this at nearly 100 miles an hour. You're just scrubbing that tyre all the way through. You scrub 40-50 miles an hour off and back on the power again. And that heat cycles the tyre, it rips bits of rubber away from it. Basically it degrades the surface of the tyre to the point where you just don't really have the grip there anymore. You don't have the same rubber surface anymore. It's not digging into the track the same. And it's essentially torture for rubber. Drivers who can be a little bit softer, a little bit smoother, they will be rewarded in increased tyre wear, you would imagine. Increased tyre durability, you would imagine. Hirocom then survives the assault from Tommy Concrete. Further behind, not much has changed. But then we've got Bobby back ahead of Toby. Still as you were at the back, with no real changes to talk about. The top 2 built another couple of temps and ahead of Hirocom. Subaru's doing a fine job so far. They obviously using a different strategy, which is why they're in a world of their own at the moment. We won't really know their true position until the pit stops are cycled out, and even then it's going to be a case of they may keep the position, but everyone else is going to be on the faster tyre and have probably less fuel on board as well. So risky strategy, but when you're involved in a fight to the level they are, you do need to take a risk every now and again, and I applaud them for doing that. It keeps it interesting, doesn't it? So the race has simmered down into a little bit more of a pattern now. Don't really have the fighting that we once had. An issue as far as I'm concerned, of course. Just going to see if Tommy Concrete's going to have a go here on Hirocom. Not close enough this time round. You get the feeling Tommy's quite content where he is. He'll overtake if he gets the opportunity, but he's quite happy just saving fuel then behind Hirocom. Bobby and Toby swapped around yet again. These two are having a good fight. It's got to be off-putting for Toby though, with Bobby lagging around like he is. That lag is still there. Bobby probably won't know that's happening. To him it'll be everyone else lagging. Maybe for his birthday he should get a better internet connection. Stop downloading duck videos and maybe free up a little bit of bandwidth. So we're going defensive then to the inside. Probably not thinking about a move at that time. Mental Lev goes very deep on the brakes, but gathers it up nicely. Got a little bit of a fight happening a little bit further back. Who's that? That looks like it was LFC fan and Fat Pickles Bro, so it's another McLaren involved in a battle here, this time against a Mercedes. Mercedes, you can see, just doesn't, the front end on it just doesn't exist. It's a terrible car. I hated every race in this Group 4 SLS Mercedes when I raced it. It was awful. Infinity Graphics is out. Didn't really see why. Yeah, didn't really see why Infinity Graphics is out at all, unfortunately. Can't even select his car. So I could not tell you why Infinity Graphics is out of the race. All I can tell you is it maybe disconnects. God knows. I really honestly couldn't tell you. Toby and Bobby still going at it. Mental Nev, then we'll have a good view of all this kicking off. These guys on the medium still rolling round thinking when. See, this is the thing, right? If you're in this little pack, you're in Toby, Bobby, Mental Nev, to a degree Fabuki as well if you can bring it in. Are you at this point starting to think of the undercut? Are you wondering if your car can make it another couple of laps on the soft just to get the track position? That's something that the strategists will be considering right now, and whether it's definitely worth doing that. James Harbour knows in the meantime, silently catching up to everybody else, and horses having a bit of a torrid weekend, unfortunately. Week. He's running the right lines, he's doing the right things. The Porsche doesn't have the gears for this course, really. Just doesn't seem to have the poke that it needs to get you around the course. But James doing everything he can at the moment. Richie V-Show's still out there in front. They've run a sprint race distance now, so about 14-15 minutes covered. Dark Clark then is going to pit, so Dark Clark's pulled the trigger, and Infinity Graphics is back in the room, so I'm assuming that might have just been a little cheeky disconnect from Infinity Graphics' side. Yeah, so Dark Clark then, he pits. Whether his team saw a gap, obviously he might come out behind Total Rose. So that's to get him out of this little battle here that was going on. Because he was firmly tucked up in that. I hope I'm still ahead of Tommy Concrete. Similar fuel, similar tyres between the two. They're quite happy at the moment. The Subaru's starting to feel the wear on the tyres just a little bit, but you'd expect that on the softs. Doing a good job for where they are. Race relative at the moment. It's starting to give others ideas that they can run 20 minutes-ish on a set of soft tyres, maybe even a little bit more. That's what Dark Clark's trying to do. He just wants out of that fight at the moment and just run some clean laps on fresh tyres and lower fuel. That's his idea. So Dark Clark then the first car to pull the trigger on the pit stops. 14th and 35 seconds behind the leader, but importantly, nice bit of clear track ahead of him. By the time he rocks up to the back of Total Rose, I'd expect Total Rose will peel into the pits, or won't put up too much of a battle. Tommy Concrete then, the Citroen team opted not to do the double stack. They're pitting them one lap after another, probably to give them a little bit more strategy variation, so that's maybe worried the Lexus team a little bit because they might not have been expecting it that early. The Lexus team at the moment will be thinking whether they need to bring the driver in now or risk leaving him out there to reel the Subarus in. I would probably argue that his actual race is against Concrete, not Richie and V-Show. Great driving from Bobby there, but I fear, oh, he nearly ran too far over on that grass then, and that is horrendous if he managed to do that. But Bobby and Toby having a right good dust up here. I've got to be honest, this battle that I've seen so far has been perfectly clean. I've not seen any issues between these two aside from lag. Absolutely no problems at all between them. It's been nice clean overtakes, nice clean driving. So Bobby then up to P4, Toby 5th, Mental Nev sitting behind these boys at the moment and not really stressing too much. Most cars getting about 17-18 minutes on half a tank of fuel, some a little bit less, so a splash and dash in the pit stops is required. If you're someone called Fat Pickles, bro, though, you do a good enough job of fuel saving, you probably won't need to refuel. So Pickles might actually put himself out of this little fight during the pit stop phase because he doesn't have to refuel as much as everybody else. So right, triggers are getting pulled then. First Subaru in, and it's V-Show. We've got Toby and Bobby in as well, so the Lexus team reacting to each other. But they are wanting to lead Hirakram out. So Hirakram stays out, don't forget. And Tommy Concrete, who pitted a couple of laps ago, then he's just finishing his out lap now. And this isn't really going to be a pace indicator lap, of course, because it's an out lap, but you can see where he is on track. He's got a clear track. He hasn't got any other cars to worry about other than now V-Show coming out of the pits. V-Show on the medium compound tyre. This is for track position. V-Show does not have to concede position here to Tommy Concrete, but Tommy is on the soft tyre. This is going to be, between these two, this is going to be a battle for genuine track position. The 9th and 10th at the moment. We're talking about net podium positions here once the pit stops have cycled through between V-Show and Tommy Concrete. Richie, Hirakram, will these boys be in this lap? You do wonder whether they will be. The guys on the mediums, the wear is pretty low on those, but the lap times are a lot slower. The guys on the softs have been, I mean, Richie's still in the 45s. They've been dropping, but the guys on the medium tyres doing 45s, 46s. So they're about at that crossover point now, and we're about halfway into the race. So it's whether Richie will opt to drop himself into the pits. He's not, he's carrying on. Hirakram looks like he's sliding over to that side though, is he? Yep, in comes the other Lexus. So we'll keep an eye on Tommy Concrete and see where Hirakram comes out relative to him. Hirakram will need a little bit of fuel on board that car, but he won't want to do what he did last week and underfuel the car too much. Tommy's going to get a helping slipstream here from V-Show. Citroen pokes its nose out. Hirakram still in his pit box. It's going to be an easy pass then for Tommy Concrete. Hirakram out of his pit box now. There he is. And that couldn't have been a better scenario there for Tommy Concrete. Caught V-Show at the right time. That is essentially just let Tommy Concrete gain a decent chunk of time then over the Lexus, who has sufficiently fueled our lad this time. It looks definitely like he's got enough motion lotion in the tank. Dark Clark though has just put the fastest lap of the race on the board. He's trying to do his teammate a solid right now by just basically getting in the way, and Dark Clark, who pitted the earliest of everybody, don't forget, is on that opposite strategy. He's got to go the longest into the race, and he can really do Tommy a solid here by giving Hirakram something else to think about than overtaking the cars ahead. You disconnected, did you? Oh, bloody hell. I did wonder. I assumed that because you came back into the lobby. If you rage quit, you wouldn't have done that. But Richie's staying out. He's extending this time on the softs as long as he can possibly get away with it. I think while he's doing 45s, 45.7 there, yeah, you probably wouldn't argue that because he's still gaining time. The LFC fan pit in the McLaren, I think. It's going to be joined by a couple of cars. So the pit stops now are starting to cycle through. Expect Fat Pickles Bro to leapfrog some of these boys in the stops. Yeah, he's saved considerably more fuel. but what do you expect from Mr. Pickles? So the top 4 not yet pitted. Tommy Concrete is your net race leader once the pit stops should have cycled through. Hirocram gets past V-Show. That's an important move. If V-Show wants to earn some Hirocram points, he can hold Dark Clark up a little bit, but he's going to struggle on those medium tyres. I'll be honest, he's still a net P3 V-Show. Holding off a Citroen on softs for 17 minutes is a tall order. Rest assured he will probably try. Where's Bobby? Where's Birthday Boy? P9 then. It's still cycling round. Dark Clark did sufficiently jump him in the pit stops, by the way. Dark Clark now does go for that move on V-Show. But I would expect Dark Clark's tyres towards the end of the race just to start going off. Can Hirocram do anything about this man though? Tommy Concrete. Soft tyres, Hirocram's got a little bit more fuel, can probably afford to push the Lexus a little bit. It's not a lot, we're talking litres in it, but it's still enough. Hirocram, you remember at Tokyo, had to fuel save a lot in the last couple of laps. That's what brought Tommy back into the race, when even Dark Clark, who was in another part of the world, was saying it's not possible for him to do it. So Nev, Fubuki and Richie all pit then. P1 Don stays out, staying out on those medium tyres. He must really like them. I would say that would give Tommy Concrete the lead of the race, but Richie did such a great job on those soft tyres in stint 1. Even though Tommy's been lapping out there on softs for 4 laps now, throwing in some decent times, Richie does retain his position, but the important but here is on medium tyres. And Hirocram just sets the fastest lap of the race at 44.2, sufficiently pulls that gap away from Dark Clark. He's probably nursing tyres a little bit. V-Show on the mediums, and we've got Bobby P7. Can he reduce the gap to V-Show? It's 5.4 seconds at the moment, and Bobby is on the faster tyre. Should in theory be possible for him with the time remaining. We will see. Toby then, P8, just set his fastest lap of the race at 44.9. And Mental Nev, so in that little battle, probably not cycled fully through yet. LFC fan who's had only just pitted, freshest tyres in the world for LFC fan. Can we do anything about James Harben in P13? So P1 Don then leads the race, albeit on the basis he's not yet took his pit stop. We'll probably expect him to do that this lap. In fact, it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. And the leaders giving each other slipstream now. So Richie is just about giving slip to Tommy. Tommy's giving slip to Hirocram. Tommy actually thinks about defending this one. See the braking performance of the soft compared to the medium there. The medium on the car that we're on board with, it just didn't want to stop, did it? Tommy is going to be all over him here. Hirocram will be looking for an opportunity to make a pass. P4 for Dark Clark then. His early pit stop strategy really did pay off, but we'll see if it comes to fruition later on in the race. It's another 15 minutes on those soft tyres, which isn't beyond the realms of possibility. And he's got a 2-second gap now to V-Show, so that's really the only one he's got to worry about at the moment. Bobby is reeling in V-Show slightly, but 5.1 seconds is the gap now between those guys. A little bit more spread out near the back then, with the closest competition at the moment being LFC fan James and Pickles. P1 Don after we stop. Precious soft tyres on board for Don, but everyone else really on soft, so it's not really an offset. His mountains will only shine. And while we've been away. Completely missed Richie getting overtaken by Hirokram and Tommy. So Richie won't mind that. It is, as it stands, Hirokram leads the race. Tommy Concrete second, Richie currently third, but with a mighty slipstream on the Citroen. Then will Richie think about a move? He gets on the brakes early compared to the Citroen. I think he knows he's got it all to do with the medium tyre. The soft tyre is just going to have that little bit more grip. And the expectation now is that Hirokram, Tommy start driving off into the distance, and Richie now starts to think more and more about Dart Clark and about preserving the points that he would get from this race. He's not technically battling these boys in the Constructors' Championship. He's battling, he just needs to make sure he finishes ahead of the McLarens. But obviously the more points the better. Still having a good route out of this one, Subaru. With Bobby not really able to do much about it. Bobby's coming under increasing pressure from Toby. So I think a mistake made somewhere by Bobby as Toby's looking down the inside. Toby gets that move made, a lovely move then by the McLaren. Bobby's Bobby's sweet. Oh, that's a finger beauty. That's a nice. Yeah, that was a good cutback move that by Bobby. Let me just go and see that from his perspective. So obviously saw the Citroen make the move. The McLaren make the move. And just got it tidied up on the apex. A little bit of contact between the two that you heard there, but ultimately Bobby able just to do the switcheroo, regain his position. That being said though, Toby slides one up the inside. Bobby should be faster on the exit of the corner. These two then will battle away down the straight. McLaren's good in a straight line. It's just about keeping that Lexus off its tail. About pulling away the McLaren in a straight line. That's just how good that car is once it starts really winding up. It can pull away from that Lexus, which is a tower of power. It's got really good acceleration, the Lexus, but top end it loses out to the McLaren. Now, that's a perfect example of it right there. Now, Richie then is coming under pressure from Dart Clark. So Dart Clark should really start to feel these tyres now. It won't be huge. It should still be quicker than the mediums that are on board the car ahead of him. That being said though, the move is somewhat inevitable, and with inevitability comes outcome, and Richie's going to fight this at the apex. Lovely defensive driving there by Richie. He maintains position. Richie then will want to slow Dart Clark up as much as he can, because if he can bring V-Show back into this fight, it's game on really. It is definitely game on if that can happen. We'll check in on the leaders in a moment. I just want to have a run through the field and see if I'm missing anything that's going on. Toby and Bobby still fighting away. Bobby's got himself a second and a half worth for pen. Oh, nearly absolutely decks it. Mental Nev then now pushing Bobby around the track. Then we've got Fabuki 9th, James Harbour 10th at the moment with Fat Pickles in 11th, P1 Don 12th with LFC Fan 13th, and Total Rose having a bit of a night to forget, 14th for Total Rose. The leaders then, here it comes, starting to pull a little bit of a gap then from Tommy Concrete. We've got 9 minutes to go in this one. At the moment, it's hard to predict. We've still got Richie ahead of Dart Clark. He's doing an absolutely grand job, is Richie so far. On those aging tyres. Unfortunately, he isn't bringing V-Show into the fight. V-Show may be having to fuel save a little bit, looking at the fuel he's got on board. Everybody's got more than him. Bobby might be having to do the same, you know. Bobby and Mental Nev with similar fuel levels on board their cars. A little bit of a tap there from Mental Nev. It's all good though. It's Toby with the lag now. So his McLaren just fly itself around the circuit. And Bobby's going to choose to just get rid of that penalty in its entirety. With the Infinity GT, you have to burn it within 2 laps, which is why you do see the drivers actively get rid of it. It's unlike other championships where you can burn it away. They want you to. They want you to have to get rid of it here, which I back, to be fair. Just a pain in the backside to actually police it. So let's see if Richie can survive another attack then by Dark Clark. Might just let him have the inside. Richie though, nicely on the brakes. Dark Clark though up the inside. Nice pass there by Dark Clark. Richie didn't put up too much of a fight. Citroen with the soft tyre, even though that soft tyre is visibly now getting a lot more degraded. Dark Clark still has the advantage with grip. Not much Richie could do about that. Even on pretty fresh tyres, they're still not as quick as the worn softs that Dark Clark's got. But V-Show then, happy running in 5th at the minute. Sure we'd love to be higher. Toby ahead of this little contingent then. We've got Mental there, we've got Bobby. Fabuki's been reeling these guys in as well, silently stalking his prey, and Bobby's next on the list of potential victims for him. James Harburn running a comfortable 10th at the moment, just ahead of Fat Pickles Bro. P1 Don 12th, LFC Fan 13th. Just going checking on the leaders. It has to be said, Hirapam at the moment is in the ascendancy. Fastest man on track, comfortably pulling that gap away from Tommy Concrete at the moment. And then you do have Dark Clark P3, so at the moment it's a brilliant result for Citroen. 6 minutes remaining. Richie's still there though, and with Dark Clark's tyres, you just wonder whether Richie's got a shot at getting back on the podium here, you know. Even though he's on a medium compound. You do wonder whether, I mean, this is definitely going to be a one to watch, because it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other. I mean, Dark Clark's got the faster top compound on, but they're a lot more worn. There's a lot less actual tread available on that tyre than the one that's available on the medium, even though it offers less overall grip. There's more tyre there. So this is where the strategy battle, this is where the roll of the dice then from the Citroen team comes in. And don't forget the 2 Subarus, now running 4th and 5th, were comfortably in the lead at the start of the race. And the Citroens knew they'd get a decent start. But to do anything about these 2 Subarus, they had to do something, they had to roll the dice somewhere, and that was bringing Dark Clark in very early into the race, just to upset the rhythm a little bit. Tommy Concrete, sheer pace and will, like John Wick, and attacking this one, but Hiracram has just been the master tonight. And the Hiracram we are so used to seeing on this channel. Race against him on Friday nights, and he is something else. He's just uncatchable, really. You just can't get anywhere near the guy normally. And as it stands, with 4.5 minutes remaining, unless he comes up somewhere, he's going to take the win here at Fuji and collect some big points. It will be a good week for Lexus, even though Bobby is down in 9th and not having a good time of things, is Bobby. We see Richie and Dark Clark still fighting. Richie's trying to hang it around the outside. Dark Clark gives him the space. Good drive, good racing, chaps. Really good race. A little bit of side-by-side contact there, but they're just trying to push the limits. Now, Richie's going to be able to take the position. Will he drift wide? No, he won't. Nice and tidy. So Dark Clark then, is he starting to feel those tyres? Because Richie's tyres ahead are fresh as anything. They are a medium, granted. but Dark Clark's just been feeling the pinch on these softs at the moment. The important thing is he's still going to be in slipstream when we come round down to turn 1 again, so Dark Clark will just be looking at an overtake down into turn 1, which is probably the most common place to be making moves tonight. Looking back a bit further, haven't got too much happening. We've still got this little fight going on between James Harben, Fat Pickles and LFC Fan with P1 Don. Just lurking away there. We've got Fubuki, who is past Bobby. We did miss that overtake. I apologise, Fubuki. There's stuff going on ahead of you. I really couldn't take my eyes off at the time. Aerocom continues to extend his lead then. This is Richie given a big old toe to Dark Clark, who switches on him. He's going to go to the inside. Nice move there by Dark Clark. Got another 2 laps remaining, I reckon. Most people's fuel looks okay. V-Show might be slightly in trouble. He's the only one that's flashing red at the moment. What that normally means is you've got a lap to 2 laps worth of fuel left, and he's on his penultimate at the moment. So we'll see how that Subaru goes. He might be fuel saving a little bit. Got a 2-second gap back to Toby. Getting on level terms with these 2 chaps at the moment. Not really something he can do. This is where they're saying that this is a game of chess, not checkers, comes in, because you have relatively limited overtaking opportunities here. If Richie can get past Dark Clark down into turn 1, then we're on to the last lap, and all Richie has to do is defend the infield, which in a Subaru, when he's got good exit speed out the corners, he should be okay doing. He's down into turn 1 where that Subaru is vulnerable, and he can now go on the attack against Dark Clark. Then this is the fight for the final podium position. The front 2 are gone. There's not much to go between those 2, but it's going to be Dark Clark versus Richie. Dark Clark got a very good exit from the final corner. It's not giving Richie much of an opportunity then to give him a pass down into turn 1. Richie isn't going to be close enough. Richie's got to do this then through the infield if he wants to make any moves. V-Show might be in trouble with fuel, you know. I'm not confident he's going to make it, as Toby takes a second out of him. Toby V-Show's definitely fuel saving. Everyone else looks to be okay. We've got Fat Pickles and James having a good old bust up then down at the back. Pickles have gone far too deep. James gets it tucked up nicely, gets the switch back. Pickles not able to defend that one. He just went in too deep. It's not normally an issue, of course, but going in too deep in racing terms is usually a bad thing. Right, so a couple of things to keep an eye on then. Does V-Show keep fuel in his tank? Richie's got a similar amount, which is why he probably wasn't able to do much about Dark Clark. Does he just consolidate his position? He probably won't. He'll probably fight this to the very end. V-Show, though, might lose a position here to Toby. Just doesn't have enough fuel in the tank looking at it to defend it, but we will see. We'll keep an eye on all of these little battles as we come across the line. But the man of the moment, Mr. Hirocom, has absolutely demolished this race. He's not had it all his own way this championship, but he's put in a solid performance here at Fuji, and great points in the bag then for the Lexus driver. But the Citroen drivers have done a phenomenal performance. P2, P3 for those. Richie P4. V-Show might get 5th. It looks like Toby's just going to get him at the line. He is. Toby's going to get 5th. V-Show 6th. Mental Nev 7th. Fubuki 8th. Bobby in 9th, then burning away a penalty. Then you got P1 Don in 10th place. Bad week for Chevrolet. James Harben, Fat Pickles, bro, nice drag to the line for these boys, and it's James by literally nothing according to my screen. Let's go back and have a quick look at that. We might have the time to do it. We might not, because this might finish. This might just stop, by the way. I can't control that. Yeah, see what I mean? Thanks for that. Cheers, Dave. I'm going to have a look at the finishing time between James and Pickles, because that was quite literally... let's have a look. So... yeah, there's nothing in it. So James's was a 41.26.463, then 41.26.471 for Pickles. So 100, less than 100th of a second, like thousandths of a second in it between those two. Yeah. Yeah, my football team's won another game. That's not something we do very often. Yeah, it was. You know what? That was a great little battle. There was a few kicking off tonight, but it was all, as far as I could see, it was all clean. It was all respectful. I know the drivers have had some arguments about different battles in recent times, but tonight seemed just to be genuinely good fun for him. So hopefully that's a good return to form. Obviously we'll have the points ready for you next week when we roll out for Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya in the Group 3 cars. A terrible track, which I despise, but they make up for it by putting Bathurst as the last race, which I adore. I love Bathurst. So, yeah, we can... no worries, James. No worries, Pickles. No worries, Heracram. Hopefully you've enjoyed the coverage. Speaking to Christian Horner about the legality of your engine. Well, yeah, he didn't have it all his own way, mate. I'll be honest, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, you got an absolute killing off him off the line, didn't you? Can you ask James to grab results, please, Chris? Well, I can just grab them to you now, mate. I'll just screenshot them now, and I'll ping him you if you want. I'm assuming these are what you want. I'm assuming James will probably get them anyway, because that's James, isn't it? But I'll ping them to you on PSN after I've finished the stream. Speaking of which, I need to go and do now, because I need to go to bed. I've got work in the morning, so I need to close this down and say goodnight to everyone. But thank you all for tuning in. If you're watching this post-race, appreciate you doing so. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see more of, etc, etc. And join us next week, 9 o'clock, Tuesday, for Barcelona in the Group 3 cars. So join us then. Until then, take care of yourselves. Good night.